Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us today. We just got the little guys to bed again. That was the case in our previous video. I guess that's kind of the only time we have to record is after they're asleep. But life has been crazy and full and exciting and fun. A lot of new experiences for us. Not that kids are a new thing, but just, kids in our home and the schedules that they have, and it's been a lot of fun. Before they came though, we did an event together, and we're gonna do a YouTube video about it. And anyway, we unexpectedly got this opportunity for the boys to come in our home, and that kind of changed life a lot. So today we do want to share it with you guys because it was a great thing. We were able to go on a marriage retreat last April.
Yeah.
And
just a little bit delayed.
Yeah, a little bit. It was just a really great time of reconnecting, setting aside time, and
there's something about time away where
extended
your entire
time away.
Purpose is just each other, and you just
Right.
kind of go off the grid, turn off cell phones, and you're there just to reconnect.
Yeah, I didn't anticipate how much of a blessing it was going to be. But anyway, we're going to talk about it a little bit. We, there's just certain things, you hear certain things along the way, and then other things come along where it's just like, oh wow, I might have heard that before, but I really needed it now at this phase in my life. We just want to talk about a few things that were a blessing to us going to this marriage conference. First off, though, is getting to the destination. It was in Gatlinburg, and we've been to Gatlinburg several times, but it never gets old to me.
So beautiful.
I'm a northerner, and I always love mountains, and I didn't have them growing up, but here the Smokies are close, and they just never get old to me. So any chance to get to stay in them, I love the opportunity.
And I spent childhood going to there. My grandmother had a timeshare, so we would go, sometimes when it fell here, and it brings back a ton of fond memories for me. So every single time we go, we make new memories and then relive old memories. And I point places out to Brenda, like, we did this here and this there. So it's a very special place to us.
Yeah. So already having it in Gatlinburg was great, from my perspective. And we got there and we're in this hotel, and I had never stayed in a hotel like this.
Me neither.
It was circular in structure, and once you walk in, the lobby is completely open. The walls surround it, and you can see all the way up to the ceiling. And this is like 15 stories, 14 stories.
15.
And every floor has a balcony that you can look down and see all the way to the bottom. There's like a piano that somebody plays in the evening and stuff.
It was pretty epic.
It was.
And the design of it, everybody has a balcony to overlook the mountains. I had no idea where we were going to be staying at first. I mean, we registered with the church, but I didn't know what the hotel was like. But it was just one of my little prayers, like, could we be near the top floor somewhere? And it was just something that I had prayed a couple times because I love the mountains. I love when the smoke comes in and they're foggy and seeing sunsets. And I was assuming a 3 or 4 story hotel, but then when we got there and we checked in, we were on the second to the top floor. So we were number 14, and it was so meaningful to me because I had specifically prayed for that. And then they give us a room and we got to go up and we were overlooking the mountainside, and it was stunning.
So on one side, you would overlook Gatlinburg. There were some mountains there. But on the other side of the hotel, you just have mountains, and that's the side we were on,
the national park side.
Yeah, and it was just so pretty. The dinner was amazing. When the first night when we got there, our church does such a good job at making it a really nice event for the couples that are there, and we were beneficiaries of that.
One of the things that's super fun is there's always a theme. The leadership of the church put so much into making it fun and special and meaningful. And so they always decorate the backdrop of the conference room with a theme. And one of the things that I love is there's a box made for each couple that you get at your check-in. This year, the theme was a work in progress. So the box was a little white box, and it was wrapped in, caution tape.
Yes.
So it was bright yellow, and then you open it up and it was a flashlight and little screwdrivers and just
Teeny measuring tape.
Yeah. Reminders that, marriage is a work in process, and using the tools that God gives you to make your marriage the best that it can be, and just focusing on what those tools are. The husband has things to contribute, the wife has things to contribute, and using what God's given you to its fullest and not just letting it sit.
I feel like the schedule for our marriage retreat is really nice because they invite a speaker in, but they also designate time for spouses to spend, with each other.
For you just to reconnect or hang out with friends or go on hikes. And it's allotted just to read through what you've learned and actually, focus on your marriage.
Yeah. So we appreciate the schedule they have that way. But during the session times, I wrote a few notes down that I just wanted to mention were a blessing to me. One session in particular that was I just thought was really good. It's good to have a refresher and just be, have that reminder. There's mental differences. Mm-hmm. And
we process so differently.
We do, knowing that's there's ways to work together in it. Mm-hmm. But you have to realize you're not talking to a mirror. It's not exactly you, in your way. And so, which is one of the amazing things about marriage, it stretches you beyond what you are, and it helps you see life from somebody else and not just you. I thought this was really good. I mentioned men's minds are like a laser, whereas women's are like a radar. So for guys, it's usually very single
one thing
pointed,
at a time.
and very focused on one thing. Whereas women, they're conscious of multiple things all, at the same time. I don't know how you function that way. It seems
and
very...
I don't know how you function one thing at a time. Like, how do you finish all of your things?
It's like, there's guys, I'm sure, that can multitask, but I'm not a good multitasker, whereas...
You missed the exit.
Yes, we'll be talking about something. I'll drive right past our exit, where she can concentrate on multiple things at the same time.
There are differences, and I think it was just something to be reminded of, learning how to understand each other and the differences and embrace those and be grateful for the strengths that you bring to each other. But when he's texting a friend, it's just like a sentence and they get each other and they don't get their feelings hurt. And it's just different than how I would text my friends. And
hey guys, can you pray for this? Yep. Thanks. We're good. Not so much with your text.
I send a text that has all of the details and the schedule and when this is going to happen. And, I'll update you after it's over. So it's just a different way of communicating. Even different things we're talking through. Sometimes I'll be just like, I need to vent and tell you this. Don't fix it. Like, it's not the time to fix it. I just need to get it off my chest.
This is big. Because most of these discussions don't start with that statement. It ends with a statement.
Yep.
So I wish I knew this at the start of our conversation, because she'll bring a problem up and it's just kind of like, problem, need to fix it now. Mm-hmm. And I'll go into fix it mode and it's just like,
I just needed you to hear me and then I needed you to hug me and we can fix it later. Just being reminded that I need to preface for him sometimes that I need to vent, I need you to hear me. And I need you to hug me and just pray together that we're going to get through this.
Yeah, and actually at work, that's one of my main jobs is problem solving. It's just like there's discrepancies all over. You need to find out, what the root cause of this is and,
fix it quick. Don't let it happen again.
Yeah, get it fixed and then go to the next one and get that fixed. And however many problems you can fix in a day is a successful day. But at home, it's not, that mode does not work. Mm-hmm. And not that problems shouldn't be fixed.
Yeah.
We don't want to just live with our problems, but there's a relational side to this.
Yeah. Being patient with each other and just learning to understand instead of just live life in the same place.
Yeah. Trying to learn what the needs are of our spouse. And try to communicate in the way that speaks to them.
Take time to step back and ask questions like, in what ways could I meet your needs better? In what ways can I be there for you emotionally? In what ways can I be there to support you in the house? And just different things to reconnect.
It's cool too because there's the things that were said in the sessions, but there are also other things that it triggered that really got me thinking. That really began to stir up things in my heart. Like, things are sitting inside that you aren't necessarily focused that they're there, but they're there. Mm-hmm. And it's not helpful for them to be there. And so you really need some kind of set apart time to work that stuff out. And being here on this retreat gave opportunity to do that. We began to unpackage those things together during our free time.
Yeah.
And that was probably the healthiest thing of the whole weekend, was just, thoughts were shared during the sessions, but we hopped in our car and drove and enjoyed the scenery and went a few places ourselves, but we were able to talk about it and really dig deeper under the surface of where we were, me where I am, and what's really going on in there. It is something where we can grow. We can grow beyond these things. And,
being a team and being friends, and it's like Brandon said, there were things that weren't necessarily talked about, but things that were on our heart. And as we're taking these drives after the sessions to communicate, just digging deep in our hearts. I've been traveling a lot to be with my grandparents, so we've had a lot of distance. We had a list that was a mental list that needed to be talked through, just priorities and reassessing. And Brandon's coming up on a year of having a new job, so just basic things that we needed to, reprioritize in our home and in our relationship and in our schedule and in our workout. So some of them were things that were deeper, and some of them were just things that we had not set aside time to talk through and work through. And it was so refreshing and so healthy. I feel like the romantic side of marriage comes so easy. There's, the heightened level of attraction, and the loving each other that's the easy part. It's easy to count down till he's home from work, and keeping things fun and spicy, that's the easy part. And then sometimes not taking the time for the things that are deeper, that just need to be worked through and talked through, even if they're not hurts or bitterness, but things that need to change to make our life more meaningful for each other, more meaningful for the kingdom of the Lord, reassessing where we're serving in church, and just where we need to be as a couple. And it was so good to just drive and talk and take notes.
So we had a good time, as a couple on this retreat, but we also had a fun outing with some friends.
Oh, such a blast.
The time came to a close, the retreat came to a close, but we were still in Gatlinburg. So we had some friends just like, hey, you want to hike a mountain? I was like,
I said yes.
I don't know that if I do. If I'm going to go on a hike, I like it to be cooler. So let's do morning or evening, but midday and a beating sun. So it's like, I don't know if we want to do this, but we did. We went for it, and the temperature changed when we got into the mountains.
So lovely.
It was, oh man. I mean, we love the outdoors. We love hikes. But
that's one of our favorite things is nature and outdoors.
But this was a new thing for us because there was a waterfall down this hike that was
Grotto Falls.
You could actually walk under it. And that was fun, seeing the waterfall, and these friends we went with.
They're so fun.
They are. So it was just a really fun time with these guys.
And we caught a little bitty snake on the way up. And
yeah, she loves snakes.
I took a few pictures, and we let it back go to find his family. He was little bitty, so he probably had all kinds of brothers and sisters somewhere. It was a really beautiful hike. I was tired. By the time we got back down, I was totally worn out, but it was definitely worth it.
But while we were there, while we were still in our hotel room, we could actually look out and see black bear like walking the parking lot down below.
That was such a cool
literally
experience.
there were signs, or is it just the hotel that said this? But they're like, anything that's consumable, any food, get out of your car or lock your car doors because the bears
they smell it.
They patrol the parking lot at night. And so anyway, it was crazy. We looked out from our balcony, and several times we actually saw black bear roaming the parking lot down below.
They're standing up and looking in the truck beds to try and find something to eat. It was really, really cool.
Yeah. Some people were a little too curious, I guess, because one of the bears that was there got spooked, and he just took off running, and we had a great view of this.
We sure did.
But it was just kind of like, wow, I don't think I've ever seen a black bear run like that.
I hadn't.
It goes with the territory. If you're going to go to Gatlinburg, you want to You want to be able to see, some black bear if you can. And we got that.
It's kind of a highlight.
Yeah.
And then on the way to the waterfall, we saw the mom with cubs. So
That's right.
That was really cool.
So anyway, that was our marriage retreat, and it was a fun time. It was a refreshing time, but just really healthy for our marriage. Being able to take multiple days together to to verbalize where we're at and just different things, and be reminded of there's growth, more growing to do here, and that's not a bad thing to recognize.
Yeah. And reassessing, I think, in new seasons of life. We did not have the boys in our home yet, but I think God knew that they were coming. God definitely knew that they were coming, and just giving very focused attention to the most important things that need to change or become habits, or that we need to grow in. And it was just so healthy to happen right before the boys came in our home.
I felt like it was a not just a blessing, but a good preparation time for us being able to go to this marriage retreat.
We didn't even know it at the time.
Right. Within a couple, really just a few weeks.
Yeah.
It was got the chance to have these boys, in our home, and which we're loving, but it really helped, I think, set the stage in a fresh way for us to be on the same team. Trying to communicate with each other is just like, okay, what is priority? What is important? What are the needs here? So at this point in time, looking back, we are very grateful that the marriage retreat happened when it did. It really, I felt like, it kind of reset things in a certain way, in a really healthy way, where we were able to be, together and just communicating on things. So now the boys are here. It's been a fun ride with the boys. They keep us smiling, they keep us laughing. But it's something where, to give them the best home that we can, we need to be a team, and we need to prioritize our relationship, because marriage is the most important relationship, and really that's what's going to give, the best environment and the best, stability, support, all those things for those that we get to, to watch and to care for. And it was just, I felt like it was a godsend, and we're benefiting from it now. And, we definitely want to keep these things in mind, because, it's easy to drift away from the important things.
Life is so busy.
Yeah. But, we want those reminders, and we appreciate having them. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us this week, and we hope to see you next time.